had a show in Toledo last night, and it was like, just every once in a while when I'm winging it, like just things that you shouldn't say out loud in front of like normal people just fly out, and it was
say it out loud, see how it feels.
Oh, all the time. And it's just, and here's the biggest things, I don't give a fuck. Like, it might hurt somebody's feeling for 2 minutes, but it's like, yeah, I'm making fun of you for something that you're doing that actually causes pain to people. Like, I'm not wrong in pointing out that you're a shithead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm just sitting there, and it came up because the guy asked me for, like, my credits, and I go up on stage, and it was like, so he asked me for my credits, and, like, the only reason you would know me around here is if, like, you went to the dentist's office my mom works at. And I dropped the dentist's office, and, like, a table and a half, like, started cheering. And I was like, oh, so you know Linda. I was like, she's the reason why I'm on stage instead of having a real job.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And then they all laughed, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of funny, but it's also true.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if you know my dad, tell him I said hi. I haven't talked to him in 3 years. He's got a better family at home. And then everybody was just like, ooh. And I was like, oh, that was the funny part. Like,
yeah.
like,
yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it was just weird, because, like, that shit just kind of, like, slides out, and I don't know why people are, like, afraid of that shit. Like, I'm the one who has to live with it, and if I'm standing there making fun of it, why do you feel bad about it? Like, I know that that's not your thing.
I think that, I don't necessarily know that people feel bad. I think that it's one of those things where they're like, they don't know how to respond. And is this a crowd that you feel like frequents comedy shows?
I don't know. It was in a Mexican joint. Like,
I'm gonna say no.
like I like the spot. Like, it's a
Yeah.
cool spot, and it's like a newer thing.
Yeah.
But it was like a stage, and it was the most Toledo thing in the entire world.
It sounds like it.
Because it was like, the restaurant was great, the food was good.
Yeah.
The guy who runs the show is great. The whole show went fine. I left after my set, so I assume it went fine because I did fine. And but like they had like a chalkboard. Like there's a piano on the stage, and they had a chalkboard saying that they played like Creole jazz on there.
Okay.
So like it's just like that's the one spot where they try to have culture in Toledo. Like it's so like they just shove it all into one restaurant. So it was very Toledo, but it was. I think that they were, like, they seemed mostly cultured, like, it wasn't terrible. Like, that's kind of something that every time I go back to Toledo, it's almost funny, like, it's a completely different place than I was used to growing up there. Mm-hmm. It's not that I would ever move back, because there's 7 people in Toledo, there's just, like, 100,000 of each one of those people, and you're like, oh, I've met you before. And, but it's, I don't know, it's a completely different time and a spot there. Like, cause like, they were I brought it up on here before, they were the fucking Nazi riots when I was in high school. Yeah. And now it's just like nice white people down the street from like a homeless shelter eating Mexican food on a Wednesday night. Yeah. Laughing at my stupid jokes. Like, it's just like, this shouldn't be happening. So you're not moving to Toledo? No. Okay. I'd kill myself. Okay. Okay. Like, you get to move to... Did you watch, fuck, Paul, you know this. What's the superhero show on Amazon?
The Boys.
The Boys.
No.
Like, at a certain point, like, the guy who's supposed to be, like, their Aquaman or whatever gets sent to fucking Sandusky. Like, as a punishment. Ooh. And I was like, I get it. Like,
yeah.
The fucking Bachelor was in Cleveland this week. Dude. And it was, I'm telling you, if you have never watched The Bachelor, I need you to give a half hour to this last episode.
I'm not doing it.
I'm telling you, best television I've ever seen. Like, Chris Harrison, the producer of The Bachelor, walks into, like, the Bachelor mansion that's in LA, and, like, the Bachelor's always like, we're going to fucking Prague, or we're going to, like, Spain. Yeah. And, like, he walks in and is like, our first trip is to a place of love and laughter and rock and roll. We're going to beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. And just, like, all the chicks were just, like, it took, like, a beat for them to even pretend to want to go. And, like, all the B-roll just made it look like ass. Like, and it was just, they went to Cedar Point, and, like, you could see, like, the fucking, like, the mold of, like, the thing on the thing. Like, it was all cracked and shitty, like, it's falling apart. And I was like, you guys did a great job. Like, dude. Cleveland's not the best city, but it's not as bad as they made it seem. Honestly.
I am not meant to live in Cleveland.
Where do you think you're meant to live?
I think so. I've actually been thinking about this a lot,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm meant to live in either Vegas or LA.
Yeah.
I feel like those are my spots.
You're like, are you sick of like moisture in your nose, or
What are you talking about?
you got to put some like talcum powder up there to dry it out, or
What are you talking about?
going to a spot with a lot of cocaine there, son?
That's not what it's about.
Just kidding.
Sometimes it's about like
Jobs,
industry and
the whole thing's
and
about
art
industry.
and food and fine wines.
Yeah,
You
large buffet.
know? Large buffet.
The great culinary scene in Las Vegas, where you pay for your food with a free voucher.
Okay, have you ever been to Las Vegas?
Why would I go to Vegas? I don't drink. I don't like strippers. I don't like
You
gambling.
don't drink as of yesterday.
It's been it'll be 6 months in April, so.
Yesterday.
It's been 3 months. Like, what a.
April?
What a. Like, what a dumb way to, like, count time.
Okay.
I know April's 6 months from October, so, like, that's what I went for.
Wow.
This is gonna be, when this comes out, it'll be the Super Bowl. So this will be the first sober Super Bowl. That's gonna be tough.
Why are you doing this? Why are you staying sober?
I just feel better.
About what?
Just life. It honestly helps me like rebound from things quicker. Like it'll be like if I have like a bummer day, and it would just be like I'm just gonna go get hammered, and then like you wake up hungover and you're just like oh I was drinking because I didn't feel good, and now I feel like shit, and then it's just like a big like 8-year tailspin. Like it's
Do you feel like you have changed since you stopped drinking?
a little bit.
Okay.
Like I have way less patience for things. I don't like sitting still as much unless I'm like at home. But like if I'm in public, I'm just like, why am I just sitting here?
Okay.
Like we've had it. Like the whole idea behind this stupid fucking podcast is like, I mean, I love it. You should subscribe and download and all that other stupid dumb shit. But like. We could just sit at a bar for 6 hours and just talk shit and just like slam shots and drinks. And like now, if I did that, I'd kill myself. Like
So you realize that none of the
none of that stuff you have to have alcohol for, but it makes it bearable. Like when's the last time you sat with somebody for 6 hours that you weren't sleeping, that you didn't have like a drink? Yeah, like it's
nothing?
yeah, it's
Let me think. Give me a fucking minute. God.
the fucking staff is very into this podcast today. I just wanted to call you the staff.
Does
I don't
work
really
count?
give a fuck.
Yeah, well.
No, work doesn't count.
Okay, then I guess never. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never in my adult years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean, I'm sure at your current job you'd never indulge in a drink or two while you're on the job, but I know at our last...
That's a lie.
Well, okay, I didn't want to throw you under the bus.
I don't care. I'm the bus driver. Fuck
Dude,
it.
I know at fucking the dealership that we work for, after 5, it was Irish coffees all night. Like...
Popping bottles of champagne.
Dude, as soon as she left, like...
Yeah, she got lit.
Dude, it'd be like...